Hello, it's Councillor Oldham and we're inviting you to celebrate Recycling Week. It's back for another year. And actually, is anybody else feeling like recycling rules and regulations have gone a little bit confusing? We've got so many different types of plastics, compostable plastics, plant-based plastics, and each area as well collects recycling differently. Different materials can go in different bins. So I'm going to go home and show you 6 of the most common things that we are finding ending up in the wrong bin. So come on home and we'll get stuck in. Okay, tip number 1 may seem like a no-brainer, but even me as a busy mum sometimes forgets to do this. When you're finished with your plastic bottles, whether it's squash, pot, keep your lid on. Recycling facilities have got so much more sophisticated now that as long as you've given everything a rinse and put your lid on, that whole thing can go in the recycle bin. Okay, tip number 2 is probably the most important tip of all of them. Whatever we're recycling, we must make sure we always rinse it out. Yogurt pots, milk bottles, tin cans, whatever we want to pop in, we must make sure we're rinsing and cleaning, because the biggest source of wasted recycling is contamination. And this is obviously milk residue, food residue, and actually this really impacts recycling rates, because just by putting one item in your bin that's not been properly cleaned can result in the whole entire lorry being dumped. So make sure you're washing up your yogurt pots. Did you know in the UK our bathrooms accumulate 152 tonnes of plastic bottles every year? To put it into perspective, that's heavier than the bell in the Big Ben. Now when we go and empty our bins out, stop and have a think, because actually these type of plastics that are associated with our shampoos and shower gels are really good quality plastic, and that's the type of stuff we want to be capturing. So give them a rinse out and pop them in the recycling bin, lids as well. And of course your toilet tubes, they're cardboard, they can be recycled. Tip number 4 is my absolute favourite. Get stuck in to composting. You will not regret it. So any food leftovers like eggshells, fruit and vegetables, etc., start yourself a compost bin and look and be fascinated, because if you've got kids, they will love it too. Just check out all the cool creepy crawlies and bugs that are composting my waste. And the best thing about it is, in the spring, when I'm planting things and growing my fruit and veg, I've got perfectly free fertiliser. Okay, top tip number 5. What to do with those awkward plastics that you're just not sure about? These are what we call soft plastics. And these have probably been already recycled and been reused quite a lot of times. So actually, a lot of this can't go in your typical recycle bin, unless it says so on the packaging. So what to do with these soft plastics, your bread bin bags, your yogurt sachets, your crisp packets, your sweet wrappers? It's such a waste to put all of those in the bin. Well, my little tip is have a secret hiding place and just literally collect them all up. There's loads of soft plastic recycling collection points across the district. I always pop into my local co-op and also our Aldi here in Newark and empty it all there, and every time I do my shop. And it's that simple. It stops all of this going to landfill, and it also means I'm not contaminating the recycling bin. And my final tip number 6 is, if you're unsure if it should be recycled or go in the recycle bin, if in doubt, leave it out. I know a lot of us we hate the thought of putting things to landfill, but actually if we keep putting the wrong things in our recycling bin, it is classed as contamination. And if we're all contaminating our bins, it could end up with an entire truckload that could be recycled to be going to landfill, which would be such a wasted opportunity. So I hope you've enjoyed those top tips, albeit very cheesy, but it's organic, it's real. This is me in my home giving you just general advice on how I balance trying to increase my recycling capture, as well as being a counsellor, a mum of 4 and working. I really challenge you this week to give them all a go, and maybe you can share what you've been up to below in the comments. Thanks everyone.